So in today's session, we are going to discuss about workflows topic, guys. Okay. Workflows are used to automate the process. To automate the process. Okay. Guys, you can create the workflow on any table. Okay. You can create the workflow on any table. But mostly we will be using workflows for catalog items. Okay. Workflows, you can use it for any table. So you can create workflow on any table. Okay. Guys, remember, do you remember when we discussed business rules concept? When we discussed business rules concept, okay, whenever the HR case is created, whenever the HR case is created, I have to create an incident record. Okay, so let me just go to the personal developer instance. Let me just go to the HR case form. Okay, okay. So I am just going to open the HR case form here. So whenever the HR case is created, I have to create a incident record. Further, what we have done? So we have created a after business rule. We have created a after business rule. So what it does, okay. Let us imagine this is a after business rule. So whenever the HR case is created, it will create a incident record. So it will create a incident record, guys. So I can do this same thing using workflow as well. Okay. I can do the same thing using workflow as well. Okay. What I can do is I can open the workflow here. Okay, create incident. HR case. Okay. Then what you can do, you can just submit this one. So in this workflow, you have workflow activities, guys. You can just drag this one. You can click on this line, use backspace to remove this line. You can click on this line, use backspace to remove this line. So in the core part, you can see workflow activities. These are called workflow activities. In the workflow, I am using run script activity. So in this activity, you can write any script, guys. You can write any server-side script. Workflows are server-side script, guys. So here, what I am doing is create incident. So whatever the script that I write here, same script I am going to write it in the workflow run script activity. Okay. Getting my point. Publish this one. So I am going to deactivate this particular business rule. Whatever we are able to do it using business rule, same thing you are able to do it using workflow as well. Now, whenever the HR case is created, it will create a incident record. So whenever the HR case is created, okay, it will actually create the incident record. We will go to the incident table and see if the incident record is created or not. So this time incident would have been created from the workflow. So incident would have been created. Now you can see incident is created. We'll see the created time. So created time is just now. Updated time is just now. You will see created time. So created time is just now. So whatever we are able to do it using business rule, same thing we are able to do it workflow as well. Isn't it, guys? Isn't it, everyone? Okay. So we have created a workflow on the HR case table. We have created workflow on the HR case table. You can see we have created workflow on the HR case table and we have used a run script activity. Guys, remember this point. In the workflow, we use a run script activity to write any server-side scripting. We will use run script activity to write any server-side script. So glide record is a server-side API, right? So I am using glide record on the incident table. So here in the workflow, current object also available in the workflow. So you have current object available in the workflow also, guys. Remember, in the workflow, you have current object. Here, current object refers to HR case table. Here, current object refers to HR case. Current dot u underscore color means HR case color. So HR case configuration item. So HR case state, HR case assignment group. So current object also available in the workflow. So you can use current object and get the HR case values and you can create the incident record. Whatever the requirement that we are able to achieve it using business rule, same requirement we are able to achieve it using workflow also. Okay, fine, fine. Guys, here, what is the difference between the workflow and the business rule here? Guys, business rule will be triggered multiple times. I'll tell you one example. If you go to the business rule, so change incident short description I have mentioned here. I'm just activating this one. Okay, I've just activated this business rule. Okay, in this HR case, I am actually tagging one incident, guys. I am tagging one incident to this particular HR case. So whenever I change the HR case short description, associated incident short description also should be changed. To Uday, I am keeping here. I changed the short description here. Whenever I save this one, associated incident short description also should be changed as test Uday. The associated incident short description also should be changed as test Uday. So I am here changing it to text Uday Gadiparthi. When I change the short description here, again it will change it. Again, it will change the short description and the associated incident short description. You can say just Uday Gadiparthi. Whenever I change the short description here, just Uday Gadiparthi 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I am changing. The same short description will be changed in the associated incident short description. In the associated incident short description, say just Uday 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means if you change short description 4 times, okay, 4 times the business rule is running. If you change the short description 4 times, okay, 4 times this business rule is running. Okay. Getting my point. Okay. So now, guys, remember this point. So whenever you change the short description, associated incident short description is changing. That means if you change 4 times the business rule is running. But remember, if you try to do it using same, if you try to do the same thing using, workflow will run only one time. Workflow will not run multiple times. Business rule will run multiple times, guys. For the same requirement, what I am going to do is I am going to create a workflow again. Only one time it will run. Workflow will run only one time. Update incident short description. HR case. I am using run script activity. Run script activity is the place where you can write all the server side script, guys. Okay. Submit this one. Okay. You see here, I deactivated this one, right? I deactivated this one. Okay. Now I am changing the short description. Just to Uday. Whenever I change the short description, first time business rule will run. It will change the short description of the incident. Okay. It will change the short description in the incident. So the associated incident short description also will be changed. It did not change. Okay. We did not mention the condition in the workflow, right? We have to mention the condition here that when short description changes. So to update the workflow, you have to first check out. Then you go to the properties. Go to the conditions. Short description changes. Okay. You just publish it. Okay. I am going to change the short description now. Just hello. Something like that. I am changing it. So whenever I change the short description, the workflow will run. It will actually change the short description and the associated incident. Okay. Didn't it change? I think there are two workflows, right? I updated the short description. The associated incident short description also should be changed. Going to change. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll create one record first. Okay. You created it, right? We'll associate one incident here. Okay. I am going to change the short description here. Then change that. Is it not changing? You can see we have selected none, right? So that means the workflow doesn't start unless it is triggered by a subflow or a script. So what we have done, we have selected run the workflow always. Okay. Workflow start the condition, matches the condition. Just updating this one. Okay. Now I'm going to change the short description to something else here. So the workflow will be triggered this time. Whatever the short description that we changed, the same short description should be changed here. Still it is not running. We'll try it on one more. Now it is changed. Now it has changed, guys. I have changed the short description here one time. Okay. It has changed the short description. It has changed the short description in the associated instance. Now I am actually trying to change the second time. Second time, will it change it or not? We will see. Workflow will be triggered only once, guys. Workflow will only be triggered once. Here, did it change the short description? We will see here. It did not change the second time. So business rule will be triggered for every time when you change the short description. Remember this point. Every time when you change the short description, the business rule is triggered. But workflow has triggered only one time. Do you understand my point? Do you understand my point? Everyone? Hmm? The workflow has triggered only one time. Okay, that is fine. Normally, guys, remember business rules will be triggered whenever you change something. Whenever you change something in the short description, if you change four times, if you change the short description four times, business rule runs four times. But workflow will run only one time. Okay. Guys, remember, whenever the workflow is triggered, a context will be created. So for this particular record, so on the HR case table, workflow triggered, right? So a workflow context will be created. Workflow context. Workflow context, you can see here. You can see, you can go to all contexts. All contexts. Okay, you can see for this HR case record, this context is created. For this particular HR case record, this context is created. So, for this particular case, HR case record, context is created. So, for one particular record, there will be only one context, guys. For one particular record, there will be only one context. Okay. So, remember this point. So, for one particular HR case, there will be one context. Remember, whenever the workflow is triggered, a context will be created in the workflow context. Okay, you can open this context. You can see what has happened on this particular context. You can just click on show workflow. The workflow has triggered. The workflow has triggered. The script has run. It has ended the workflow. So whenever the workflow is triggered, workflow context will be created, guys. Remember this point. Whenever the workflow is triggered, workflow is contexted. So you can check workflow is triggered or not in the workflow contexts. Okay. So till this point, you guys are clear, right? You can create the workflow on any table. You can create the workflow on the incident table. You can create the workflow on the problem table. You can create the workflow on the change request table. You can create the workflow on the user table, group table. You can create the workflow on any table, guys. Okay, fine. You understand the difference between business tools and workflows also. Okay, so now we will understand. If I have to create a workflow for catalog items, so we created a catalog item, right? You go to maintain items. We go to maintain item here. Okay. So we created a catalog item called request company mobile. So for this catalog item, I have to create a workflow. Okay. So you can create workflows for tables. You can create workflows for catalog items as well. So far we understand that we can create workflows for table. We can create the workflows for tables. Okay. So far we understand that we have created workflows for tables. So now I am telling you, we can also create the workflows for catalog items. Okay. So you have to create a workflow. You have to tag that workflow here in the process engine, in the workflow field. You have to create a workflow. You have to tag that workflow in the workflow field. Getting my point? We can create a workflow on the tables. You can also create a workflow for catalog items as well. So when you are creating the workflow for catalog items, you have to choose the table name as requested item. When we are creating the workflow for catalog item, you have to choose the table name as requested item, because if you see, whenever I click on try it here, okay, you can click on order now here. So once you click on the order now, it will create a request. It will create a request. Under the request item will be created. So this is called a requested item. So in this requested item, on this particular requested item table, you will create a workflow, guys. So when you are actually creating a workflow for catalog items, when you are creating a workflow for catalog items, okay, when you are creating a workflow for catalog items, what you have to do is you have to create a workflow on the requested item table. Getting my point? See, so far we understand that we can create workflows on the tables. Now we understand that we can create the workflows for catalog items as well. So when you are creating a workflows for catalog items, you have to choose the table name as requested item. Okay. So guys, remember, if you come to if you join in the organization, if you join in the organization, so you go to the laptop team and say that I want a laptop. So if you ask for a laptop, do you think laptop team will give you laptop? They will ask you, go to your manager and get the approval from your manager so that I will give you the laptop to you. So once a manager has approved it, only then they will actually provide you a laptop. So without manager approval, they won't provide you a laptop. Similarly, whenever you are actually requesting a company mobile, manager has to approve it. So once manager has approved it, only then laptop should be given. Getting my point? So here what I am doing is, I am going to create a workflow for catalog item. Go to workflow editor. Okay. So here request company mobile. Here the table should be requested item, guys. Remember, whenever you are creating a workflow for catalog items, you have to choose the table name as requested item. Okay. Just submit this one. So this is called workflow canvas. In the workflow canvas, you have begin activity, you have end activity, and in the middle there is a line. So if you want to remove that line, you can click on that line, use backspace to remove that line. So I'm using this end somewhere here. So this is actually beginning activity. This is actually ending activity. Okay. So here, whenever we request a company mobile, first of all, manager has to receive the approval. Once a manager has approved it, okay, only then, only then, company mobile should be provided to the employee. Okay. So first of all, I have to check if the requester has manager or not. Okay. So if there is any condition in the workflow core, there are actually activities. So there are actually conditional related activities here in the workflow. I have to check if the manager is there or not. So that is a condition, right? Then I will use if condition here. I have to check if the requester has manager or not. That's a condition, if else condition. If the manager is there, it will be true. If the manager is not there, it will be false. So here what I'm doing is I'm using if activity here. If activity will check the conditions. Okay. Check requester has manager or not. Okay. So guys, here this catalog item variable values, these catalog item variables values, right? To access this catalog item variable values, okay, you can just click on right here. So in the catalog item, you are selecting the values, right? Okay, you are selecting the values, right? So these values, if I want to access in the workflow, so this color value, this storage value, this RAM value, this additional comments value, this address value. Okay. If I want to access these variable values in the workflow, you have to use current dot variables. Current dot variables. Dot variable name. Color variable name. Current dot variables dot color. Current dot variables dot storage. Current dot variables dot storage. Current dot variables dot RAM. Current dot variables dot email. Current dot variables dot department. So if you want to access any variable value in the workflow, you can use current dot variables dot variable name. Okay. So here, right, I can in the workflow, I can access only in the workflow, I can access only the workflow variables using script. Using script only, I can access catalog item variables. So that is why I'm actually choosing advanced tab here. Advanced tab here. So in the advanced tab, I'm maximizing this one. I can uncomment this particular line of script. I can uncomment this line of script here. So here inside the if condition, I have to write the condition. I am using current dot variables dot requested for dot requested for is a reference field, guys. As it is a reference field, we can dot work. Do you remember the dot work concept, guys? I told you we can dot work the reference fields. Dot manager not is equal to empty. Not is equal to empty. So requester front dot variables dot requester means it will give requester value. Requester is a reference field, right? You can dot work it. Dot manager not is equal to empty. Then it will return yes. Else it will return no. Yes, no, guys. Yes, no. Okay. Now you can just submit this one. If you submit this one, you can see yes condition, no condition. In the script, if it returns yes, this part will be executed. In the script, if it returns yes, this part will be, it will go to this path. If the script returns no, it will go to this path. So I am opening this particular condition. Click on this yes, so that it will open the condition. So it is a condition properties. Yes. You can see if the activity dot result is equal to yes. It means in the script, if it returns yes, that means in the script, if it returns yes, okay, this path will be executed. This path will be executed. In the script, if it returns no, okay, this path, if the script returns no, this path will be running. So here you can see this path will be executed. So you can just attach this line here. Okay. So if it is yes, you will drag this path. So if the requester has manager, I want to send the approval to the manager. I want to send approval to the manager. So how can I send the approval? You can see approval. These are conditions. These are approvals. I am using an activity called approval user activity. Okay. Manager. So here what I am doing is I am just using advanced tab here. So here you can select the approver name. If you select the approver name, these are static approvers. Static approvers in the sense approval will always go to the same person. If I select Monica here, the approval will always go to Monica. What is my point? Whoever is the requester, that requester manager has to receive the approval. Monica should not receive the approval. So if you select a user here, it will always go to the same person, guys. So it will always go to the same person. So instead of sending the approval to the same person, I have to send an approval to the requester's manager. That is why I should not select a static approvers here. So here, if you select any group, it will actually send an approval to the group members. So it will always send approval to the group members. So that is not what I want, right? So I am not selecting any static users. I am not selecting any static groups. So I have to send an approval to the requester's manager. So that is why I am selecting advanced checkbox here. In the advanced checkbox, you have to uncomment this particular line here. You have to uncomment this particular line. Okay. So in this particular line, if you uncomment this one, here you have to pass requested by manager system ID. Requested by manager system ID. What I am doing, I am using current dot variables dot requested for dot manager. So in the answer dot push, I am actually keeping current dot variables dot requested for dot manager. So you can also keep multiple answer dot push. If you want to send approval to multiple members, you can use multiple answer dot pushes. You can pass the system ID of the person whom you want to send the approval. Okay. So here, if you want to send the approval to requested by manager also. Okay, requested by. So requested for manager and requested by manager, both should receive the approvals. Then you will write two answer that push. You can write multiple answer that pushes, guys. Okay. Okay. Fine. I am actually sending an approval to the requested for manager and requested by manager. So if you scroll down here, you can see wait for. So anyone to approve, everyone to approve. So here you are sending an approval to the two members. Both members should approve means you have to select everyone to approve. If both members should approve means you will select everyone to approve. Okay. If you select anyone to approve means out of two members, if anyone approve, it will be considered as approval. If you select first response from anyone, so if the first person rejected it, it will be considered as rejection. If the first person approved it, it will be considered as approval. So if you select condition based on script, okay. So condition based on script you have to use here. So here we'll come to this part later, guys. In a moment, we'll come to this part. I'm selecting everyone to approve. If two members approve, it will be considered as approval. Okay. So upon manager's approval, it will go to this path. Upon manager's rejection, it will go to this path. So once manager has approved, I will create a task to laptop team. Okay. So you have to use catalog task here. So these are actually tasks. It will create a task. You might have seen incident task, problem task, change task. Similarly, it is actually a catalog task. Okay. So laptop request task. Okay. So here, wait for condition. So the workflow will wait till the task is closed, guys. The workflow will wait till the task is closed. Okay. If you check the checkbox, if you don't check this checkbox, workflow will not wait. If the workflow has to wait for this task completion, you have to check wait for completion checkbox. And here, start description. Please provide the laptop. You have to select the laptop team name. For now, I am selecting some group, particular group. Okay, I am selecting capacity management group. Okay. So you are creating a task to capacity management. Short description as please provide laptop. So guys, catalog task table name is SE underscore task table. SE underscore task is a catalog task table. Okay. So in the task table, in the catalog task table, you have many fields. You have many fields like assigned to configuration item, priority, state, requested by assignment group, short description, description. You have multiple fields, but we are filling only short description and assignment group. Here in the workflow, you are filling short description and assignment group. What about other fields? What if I want to fill other field values? So that is where you have to open the advanced checkbox here. In the advanced checkbox, okay, you have to uncomment this particular line. So in the task refers to, here the task refers to SE underscore task. Current refers to requested item. Okay. So we have created workflow on the SE underscore RQ underscore item table, right? So here task dot description is equal to I am writing some content. Please provide the laptop. Okay. Description. Just providing here as description. Okay. And you can fill the configuration item as well. Task dot cmdb underscore CI is equal to CI system ID you have to pass. You can select any one system ID, CI. That CI system ID you can take it. So you can fill the other catalog task field values using task object, guys. Task, this is the task field name. This is a task object. Task object refers to SE underscore task. This is a SE underscore task field name. So what you are doing finally, you are filling the finally short description value, configuration item, and assignment group. If you see assignment group, you are filling, and you are filling the short description, you are filling the description, you are filling the assignment group as well. Okay. So after the task is closed, you have to close the requested item as well. Okay, you have to close the requested item as well. So after the task is closed, you can also send the email notification. Do you remember when we discussed the email notification? When we discuss the email notifications can be sent in 4 ways. What are those 4 ways? When record created or updated, event fired, from workflow, from flow designer. Okay. So now we are learning from the workflow, how do we send an email? So you have to use an activity called send notification activity. So you have to go to notifications. You have to use notification here. Okay. So using this notification activity, you can send an email from the workflow. Okay. And email notification. Okay. Okay. So it will send an email. Whom it will send an email? That we haven't provided, right? Subject and body we have provided. And whom it will send. So here, if you select a static person, it will always send an email to the same person. So we have to send it to the requested for, right? So you can see set the variable answer to comma separated list of user or group system IDs that you want to send email to. So I'm keeping answer is equal to current dot variables dot requested for, current dot variables dot requested for. So it will send an email to the requested for. So once email is sent, I want to close the requested item. So here there is an activity called in the utilities, you will find an activity called set values activity. Set values. These set values will actually set the values on the requested item. Okay. Close the requested item. State closed complete. Submit this one. Okay. This is the positive scenario. What about negative scenario? I can copy the activities, guys. You can right click on the activity, you can copy the activity. Okay. Close incomplete. Close incomplete the request item. If no manager, you will close incomplete. If rejected, you will close complete. Okay. So you can also send a rejection notification as well. You can send a rejection notification as well. Okay. So this is a negative scenario. If no manager, it will actually be closed incomplete. If rejected, it will be closed incomplete. It will send a rejection email notification. And you will publish the workflow, guys. You will publish the workflow. After publishing the workflow, you can go to the catalog item. You can actually choose the catalog item here. Request company mobile. You attach this catalog item. Okay. Now what I will do is I will submit this catalog item. I will submit this catalog item. You can click on write here. Able tutor has manager or not, we will see first. No manager. Alisa. Yeah, we are not able to select the requested by here. Okay. So I'm just submitting this catalog item. It will create a request. Under the request, a requested item is created. On this particular requested item, we created a workflow, guys. We created a workflow. If I scroll down, you can see the requesters manager has received the approval. You can just click on show workflow here. You can just click on show workflow here. So now you can see where is the workflow waiting. So it said the requester has manager, and now it is actually waiting for workflow, waiting for approval here. So now here this guy at this particular place, the workflow is actually waiting. Once it is approved, once it is approved, okay. So now it has created a task here. So we can see that workflow task here, guys. This is called catalog task. A task is created, right? You can see short description. Please provide the laptop, and we will see the description also. So here in the task, it is said assignment group is this one. It has populated configuration item as this one. It has populated the short description as please provide the laptop. Description as please provide the laptop, and description I mentioned here. So once I complete this one, the workflow will move forward. So once I complete this task, the workflow will move forward. I am going to complete this task. So once I complete this particular task, now you can see the workflow will be completed. Okay. Now guys, remember, once the workflow has begun, it should go to end, guys. If it is stuck in the middle, if the workflow is stuck in the middle, that will cause some performance issue. Workflow should always start, should always end. Workflow should never be stuck. We need to make sure that as a developer, we need to make sure that the workflow is actually not stuck in the middle. Now you can see First, it has checked the manager is there or not. It has sent an approval to the manager. Once manager has approved it, it has created the task. Once task is closed, it will send an email notification. Once the email is sent, it will complete the requested item. If you see, the requested item state is set as closed complete here. So once the requested item is set as closed complete, it will end the workflow. So if it is rejected in the middle, we'll submit one more catalog item. If the requester has no manager, it will be rejected directly. If the workflow has, if the requester has manager, Alisa Mount Joy, I'm selecting here. Requester has manager, but if he is rejecting, if he is rejecting, now you can see the workflow is actually waiting at this particular stage. So if he rejected this one, okay, the workflow will come from this particular path and it will go from this path. Let me just refresh this one. We already rejected, right? So here set values, notification, and end path. End path. So that is how the workflows will be running, guys. So we can create workflows for tables. You can also create workflows for catalog items as well. We will be discussing some more activities in tomorrow's session, guys. Okay. Do you understand the workflows concept? Is it interesting? I'm unmuting everyone.